Why being arrogant and cocky funny makes the girl want you 10 times more than if you weren't arrogant and cocky funny. Now, the reason why this works so well, I'm gonna just shut my door here a little bit. I'm actually in my DeLorean, as you guys can see, shooting more coaching videos in this car. Let's do a quick step out in case you guys are not subscribed to my Alpha Male Secrets channel, where I've done full reviews here on my DeLorean. This is it. Kind of a good shot of it, but actually documented myself buying this car on my Alpha Male Secrets channel, so you should definitely watch that. And paid a little over 50 grand for this. The stainless steel machine you see here, and getting a lot of Back to the Future references as I drive it around. But anyway, on with the coaching video. Okay, there's Cash and Gizzy. But all right, let me shut this real quick. So, the reason why girls are so attracted to you when you are acting arrogant and cocky funny and almost borderline jerkish is because so few guys are able to do that. Most guys are way too in their heads. Most guys are way too busy trying to behave in a way that pleases the girl. They're trying to present themselves in a way that they think the girl would like, rather than just being themselves, right? Rather than just letting themselves loose, rather than just letting their hair down and being who they are and being authentic and not being disingenuous, right? Not being fake, but instead being real. And actually, speaking of cocky funny, there was an old dating coach way back in the day named David D'Angelo, who actually wrote a book on being cocky funny, right? And this is where I first heard that term. And it was funny because I was already doing it, but I had never heard anybody kind of articulate it the way he did, which was hilarious. And all cocky funny means is just being playful with a girl, not being afraid to neg her a little bit, you know, take shots at her. I mean, obviously playfully, and just have fun with her, right? Just stay loose and have fun with her, rather than, you know, what most guys do, whereas, you know, they're interacting with a girl who is above what they're used to getting, like, you know, an attractive girl, and they're just so paranoid to say anything wrong. They're so paranoid to offend the girl, right? And because they live in that frame of paranoia that they might offend the girl, guess what happens? They do. And they'll often say something that isn't even really that offensive, but the girl will just take it and run because they could see that the guy is in fear, right? She's got him she's basically got this guy in fear of her, intimidated by her. The thing about women is they have this blood in the water mentality, where if they see that you're weak, they won't feel sorry for you. Most times they'll attack. It's kind of like if you're out in the jungle and you know, you run across a lion or something crazy like that. You can't show fear. They'll attack. I mean, even dogs can smell fear, right, guys? You can smell fear. Giz, Cash. They can smell fear. Speaking of my dogs, I was taking them out in the park and in Calabasas, right? In Calabasas, there was this huge mountain, and I was like, oh, this looks fun, let's go. And we start walking up this mountain, and sure enough, we get far away from where any people are, and all of a sudden, a pack of coyotes come. And I'm here with two of my small animals, and I'm like, oh snap, man, coyotes. And of course, I picked up both of them. I picked up both my dogs. I started walking backwards, and I started looking at the coyotes, dead center in their eyes, right? And then I started backing up, and as I was backing away, they didn't chase us, but they did follow us, right? But I was able to back away and just kind of be as soon as one of them would start to get a little too close, I'd be, hey, you know, I would do that, yell and point. And then oddly, I mean, the coyote would like stop in his tracks, then continue walking slow again. And then one of them would do it, and hey, you know, and I'd stomp a little bit, and then he too would be like, okay. But then they'd continue. Fortunately, we made it back to the car safely. They did not run. I mean, if we turned around and started running, oh, those coyotes would have just like completely attacked us. I don't know what would happen, but yeah, they would have completely started running after us, attacking us the second we showed any fear. But fortunately, it all worked out because I was like, okay, don't show fear. Because again, it's like just same when you're cold approaching women. It's that blood in the water mentality, especially in a busy venue. These chicks, like, if they see you're afraid, I mean, it's like they get joy out of tearing you to pieces in front of everyone. Some chicks have ruthlessly done that. I mean, girls that like I've cold approached and I've had to like shut them down. And it's weird, like when you plow and you shut them down, it creates this insane amount of attraction. I mean, the same girls that have tried to like, that were like tearing guys apart in the club, that tried to tear me apart, the fact that I didn't back down and I plowed through it and I shut them down on top of that and let them have it, you know, gave them a taste of their own medicine and kind of put them in their place. Those were the girls that took me home the fastest. They were like, what are you doing right now? Can you leave with me? Do you want to leave with me? I'm like, yeah, you know, the chick's hot, right? So you can't show that fear, but being cocky, you know, cocky funny, being arrogant, it's very sexually alluring just because it demonstrates to the girl that you have a freedom about you, right? You are free. You are a free individual. You are a free man. You are not held back by the constraints of what society thinks of you or what anybody else thinks of you or even what she thinks of you. You are not held back. For women, when they see you demonstrate that freedom as a man, not only does it communicate to them that, hey, this guy is high value, he's alpha, but more on top of that, or as a complement to that, it also communicates to her that you have achieved abundance, right? That you are living in abundance. Because guys who are in abundance act like that, right? They're generally just very loose, very free-flowing. It doesn't mean that they're like dicks and they're a-holes. No, it's just they're free to be who they are, right? And obviously, again, social calibration. They never push anything too far where it's going to escalate to physical violence and, you know, like troll guys or stuff like that. No, because then that starts harboring into low-value behavior once you start trying to hurt other people and you lack social empathy, right? I'm talking about riding that fine balance of just being the life of the party, right? Being the guy who brings value versus takes value. And when you're acting arrogant and cocky funny, you're really giving the girl an experience that she craves as a woman. Very few women are actually able to experience a man who has achieved A, his freedom, and B, abundance. Most women don't experience guys like this. You know what most women experience from guys? Guys are like, you know, paranoid. Oh my God, this chick is like too hot for me. Or, oh, you know, I get social anxiety when I talk to women. You know, I mean, they experience guys who are like, for the most part, in their head. Guys who are afraid to be themselves. Guys who cannot let loose. Guys who don't even have the self-confidence to say what they want to say and act to their own intentions, right? And that's another big key that I teach in my pickup programs. Act through your own intentions. You know, you're not going to please everybody. Let's get that off the table right now. Just live with the fact that you're not going to please everybody, and because of that, you might even piss some people off in life, even if you're not trying to. Even just like going about your life, you might have just pissed some people off. They didn't like what you did, or didn't like the way you looked, or the shirt you wore, or the way you pulled a can off the grocery shelf, whatever, right? Everybody has their issues, and you can't worry about that. All you can do is worry about yourself, right? But instead of letting like anything negative that happens in your life, somebody who's like really petty has to like go, hey, oh, hey, you, man, you know, you cut in front of me in line, blah, blah, blah. And even if you didn't see the person, like, oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident. Oh, just watch that, mister. You know, and they keep coming at you. People are just like super petty like that. Hey, that's part of life. And people like that are really, for me, when that stuff like that happens, I'm almost like really amused by it than anything else. I don't let things like that get inside my head. I don't let things like that bring me down. It's more or less amusing to me for the fact that I can't believe somebody has like so little going on in their life that something that small would bother them. That's how I look at it, right? Because I've been around guys who are thriving in life, guys who are coping in life, and guys who are failing in life. And the guys who are thriving in life are the guys who, they don't get hung up on petty little things or people who act petty, right? It's just kind of amusing. This is why we teach self-amusement in pickup, because when you're out there doing game and you're cold approaching hot girls and they start like, you know, getting all like pissy at you because they didn't like the way you approached them, that's a time where you want to, you know, practice self-amusement and just kind of be amused by the fact that like, wow, this girl, you know, she's not going to look this hot forever, and one day she's going to miss the fact that any guys approached her, period, right? And here she is complaining about the way you approached her. So this all comes back to having that freedom and achieving your freedom and abundance as a man, because that will really kind of like open the floodgates and give you the sense of entitlement to feel free to be arrogant and cocky funny around women, because at the end of the day, it works, right? It works. I mean, it works for the simple fact that it makes women laugh as long as you're coming from the right frame. You're not apologizing for it, right? You're not apologizing for it. She's like, hey, I don't like that. Don't like go back in your head like, oh shoot, sorry girl, I'm so sorry. No, don't do that. Instead, I mean, if you want to say sorry, you could even like make a joke out of it, like, oh, gosh, come on, you know, I'm kidding. At the end of the day, I mean, it's what attracts women, right? Just because so few guys are willing to do it, and the reason why so few guys are willing to do it is because they can't do it, because they haven't achieved that freedom or abundance yet, you know. And I'm not talking like financially, I'm just talking mentally, spiritually. They don't feel like they're free to do that because society is constantly telling them, no, mister, you treat women with respect. All women deserve respect. All women deserve to be believed, right? Treat them with respect. Right? You've been hearing that your entire life to the point where you're frozen. You don't feel like you could be yourself. You have to. It's like I see so many guys these days. It's so pathetically sad. Guys are walking on eggshells around women. It's like you're constantly walking on eggshells. You don't want to offend them. You don't want to say the wrong thing. Might sound misogynistic. It might sound like it doesn't empower women. You know, it might sound too masculine. It might come off as toxic masculinity. You know, and so many guys are walking around on eggshells, and I just refuse to do that. I refuse to live in the frame that has been manufactured as part of an agenda to empower women while disempowering men. Okay, I refuse to live in that frame. I refuse to live in reality, and I will continue to live in my own reality, in my own frame, and in my own movie. And, you know, that's why I'm so happy. That's why I keep thriving. And all my other, you know, the few friends that I have that are thriving in life, that are, you know, have way surpassed my level, those guys are, I mean, they're like me, but by tenfold, right? They've taken it to a whole new level, living in their own reality and not worrying about what others think of them, and not worrying about being judged. I mean, they're just really living in their own frame, their own reality, their own movie, as you should. And when you do that, you'll be walking up to girls acting arrogant and cocky funny too. You know why? Because it works. If girls didn't respond to it, nobody would be talking about this. But the fact that they do, and the fact that everybody gets a good laugh out of it, the fact that it by default, it makes social norms obvious, right? And it really blatantly tells the girl that you're just being who you are. And she doesn't have to worry about you being some fake nice guy who's gonna buy her a drink and pretend to tell her everything she wants to hear just so he could get in her pants. At least you're being honest about it. At least you're being blatant about it. Like when you're arrogant and you're being cocky funny, you're like, yeah, you're just saying what's ever on your mind. If the girl's like, would you have sex with me right now if I asked you to? You'd probably be like, yeah. Why not, right? So, yeah, you're just letting it loose. Whereas a guy who's trying to be fake and nice be like, well, girl, yeah, I think we should, I should take you out on a few dates first, right? That's the right thing to do. That's a manly thing to do, you know. And he's just not being socially, you know, honest with her. So, anyway, I'm gonna wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, guys. Really appreciate it if you subscribe. And if you want to support my work and all of this red pill content, gold pill content, and platinum pill content that I have been dishing out lately, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the cream of the crop, the same exact type of women that myself and my students are out there cold approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, every single week. And my guys are spread out all over the world, practically every country in the world, all 4 corners of the world, approaching and closing the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet using the lessons that they learn from my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery. And they're using these lessons not only to go out there and bring the most beautiful looking women on the planet into their lives, but they're also using these lessons to become better men, to improve themselves, to improve their diet, their health, their finances, to buy DeLoreans, right? Crazy, crazy shit. If you want to get into 7 Months of Mastery, right now the first month is only $1. I suggest you take advantage of it while you still can. It's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lesson. And it's really easy to sign up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.